Well, howdy folks, and welcome back to your home port. At long last, we have another British battleship coming to the game, and she's a legend and a beauty, HMS Hood. Hood was commissioned into the Royal Navy in 1920, based upon the Admiral-class battlecruisers, and as such, she had certain design limitations related to her armor protection. The Admiralty had learned several hard lessons at the Battle at Jutland, and this wisdom was used to revise Hood's design before she was completed. Time waits for no vessel, though, and in 1939, after almost 2 decades of service, it was determined that Hood was in need of a major reconstruction due to advances in naval gunnery. When Hood was commissioned, naval gunnery was severely inaccurate at the ranges needed to create plunging fire, so her skimpy 3-inch decking was considered adequate at that time. Unfortunately, the outbreak of World War II in 1939 made it impossible to have a major unit like Hood out of service for so long, and she was forced to carry on as she was. In May of 1941, Hood and Prince of Wales were ordered to intercept Bismarck and Prinz Eugen as they attempted to break out into the Atlantic, and on May 24th, battle was joined in the Denmark Strait. Well, we all know how that turned out. But since the wreck was discovered in 2001, there have been some fascinating analysis and theories put forward about how the magazine was actually detonated. Links in the video description. Have a read, folks. This is pretty good stuff. Here in World of Warships, though, all of our old naval friends, they live again, and the mighty Hood is looking good with graceful, elegant lines, a real beauty of a ship. I am very happy to have the Hood in the game, but before we get to the review, just a quick bit of housekeeping here. This ship was provided to me by Wargaming so that I could create this review for you, my viewers. At this point, you must consider Hood to be a work in progress. The specifications and abilities that I will discuss here may change before she's released to the public. Hood had 8 15-inch guns. It's well armored, and at 32 knots is a fast battleship. She does have one major weakness, as I see it though, in the game, and that is her agility, both of the hull and the turrets. Zippy little destroyers and even fast cruisers can be a real problem for Hood. The turrets turn at such an abysmally slow rate that it is extremely difficult to keep your guns trained on your targets the more the range closes. As well, torpedoes also present a serious problem, be they plane or ship launched. Hood is a massive ship, long like a cold night, and while her stock rudder shift time can be improved, she still has a massive turning circle of 910 meters. That's damn near a kilometer. Dodging close-range torpedoes is mostly a matter of good fortune. Her AA abilities are nothing to write home about either. Not that they are terrible, especially when you invoke the defensive AA fire #1 consumable, but they still won't keep determined carrier pilots from getting some torpedoes off at you. Couple this with Hood's mediocre torpedo protection that only reduces torpedo damage by 18%, and this situation is just a nightmare for Hood captains. This is why battleships tend to hang back from the close quarters knife fighting that the destroyers and cruisers often get into, and Hood captains would be well advised to do the same. But enough of that negative jazz. Hood has many qualities that will make her a desirable addition to your fleet for sure. I won't say that Hood could tank a flank like the turrets can, but she is very well armored. And if you angle this properly, you can shrug off a lot of punishment. Pointing your bow at strongly armed enemies may not have the effect you're hoping for, though, as the 25mm bow plating can be overmatched easily by other 15-inch gunned opponents. What's overmatch? Overmatch is when a shell-striking armor, no matter what the angle, penetrates. Keep this formula in mind. If the shell caliber is greater than the thickness of the armor multiplied by 14.3, that shell is going to penetrate. And while her massive size contributes to her nasty turning circle, it also blesses her with a generous health pool of 67,700 hit points. And I use that to backstop any tanking you're going to do. I have heard from other community contributors, but they feel that Hood catches on fire really easily, but I myself have not had that experience. Not any more than any other battleship that I've driven, really. Your mileage may vary though, so just something to keep in mind. Hood mounts 8 powerful 15-inch guns dispersed in 4 turrets, 2 forward and 2 aft. They reload every 30 seconds, which is an average for big guns in the game, and have excellent firing angles. The turrets are nasty slow though, as I have mentioned, 48.6 seconds for 180-degree rotation at this point, and the initial velocity of her shells are slower than I would prefer at only 731 meters per second, but HE ammo does have a 34% chance of starting a fire, which is great for accumulating damage points. Fires are the gift that keep on giving. Maximum range, little lacking, I think, just a bit more than 17 kilometers, but nevertheless, they do deliver the goods. As you can see here, Hood citadeling an angled Tier 8 Amagi battleship.
Enemy battleship destroyed.
So I spoke about the bow plating, and while it can be overmatched, it is still on par with other ships of Hood's era, like Mutsu and Nagato. But let's have a look, let's have a look at more of the armor profile. The Citadel is made up of not overly thick plating, although the upper side plate is well angled and so is effectively somewhat thicker than its nominal 51mm. The Citadel is well situated, only reaching as high as the waterline. Casemate armor provides a heavy 305mm belt at the waterline, as well as other heavy belts which contribute to its good tanking with the armor well angled. Turret and barbette armor is also quite heavy, ranging from 254 to 381mm, so the chances of them being knocked out are pretty slim. Looking at the fore and aft plating and the torpedo bulges, we see 25mm, and the last extensions of the armor belts range from 127 to 152mm, while the bottom plate rounds out at 40 mils. Conning tower is well armored and is definitely where you want to be in the gunfight. Being as big a ship as Hood is, it will not surprise you that she can be detected on the water as far away as 15.7 kilometers, which is a little better than ships like Nagato and Colorado. And when you fire your guns, well, there isn't really any place for you to be hiding. Well, folks, that's our preview of HMS Hood, a Tier 7 British battleship that is coming to the game very soon. Well, folks, there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below. If you really enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments. As well, be sure to visit my social media pages, both on Facebook and Twitter. This is where I post info that, well, not belonging in a video, it's worth taking a look at. Links to all things in the video description. Alright, folks, thanks very much for stopping by and watching. I'll catch you next time.